Sound of Freedom producer and actor Eduardo Verástegui responded to CNN guest Mike Rothschild trashing the film and moviegoers. Verástegui appeared on The War Room with Steve Bannon, where he was shown a clip of Rothschild just absolutely berating the film, the film's star, Jim Caviezel, and the movie-going audience who were going to see this film. This is what he had to say on CNN. He said, "You have a lot of people who are in this world of QAnon who say they don't know what that is. They've never heard of it. They are just asking questions. With somebody like Jim Caviezel, he is openly embracing it. He is openly using its catchphrases and its concepts. He's speaking at QAnon conventions, and this film is being marketed to either specific QAnon believers or people who believe all the same tenets of QAnon but claim they don't know what it is." After deriding the film and Caviezel, he then admitted the most durable and the most believable conspiracy theories are not entirely false. There is something in them that is true, and the rest of that is false. But the believers point to the one true thing, and they say, "Oh, you don't believe this particular thing is true." In terms of child trafficking, we know trafficking is real. We know it has real victims. No one is denying that. He then took issue with Sound of Freedom again. He says, "But these films are created out of moral panics. They are created out of bogus statistics. They are created out of fear. And with something like Sound of Freedom, is specifically looking at QAnon concepts of these child trafficking rings that are run by these high-level elites, and only people like Tim Ballard and only people like Jim Caviezel, and by extension, the ticket buyer can help bring these trafficking rings down." He concluded saying, "So there's a very participatory element. You're not just going to see a movie, killing 2 hours on a hot day. You are helping bring down these pedophile rings and save children. Now, it's not true, but it's very comforting and it's a very warm feeling to have." So, in response to this, Verástegui told Steve Bannon on War Room with Steve Bannon over on Rumble, he said, "I'm glad that at least they are in your face. So there's evidence who wants to support a movement that is designed to end child trafficking and who doesn't. So it's right there in your face." Boom! Just absolutely just slaughtering this guy in 2 sentences there, 3 sentences. Just absolutely wrecked him. And he didn't stop there, though. He says, "And people know what's going on, and they know there is a lot of people involved in this crime everywhere. When we talk about more than $150 billion business, that means there's a lot of people involved in this crime." And for someone to say, don't go see this movie, don't waste your time, I mean, come on. For someone to say this is just Tim Ballard and Jim Caviezel, that is just not true. There are thousands of people involved in this movement. More than 3 million people went to see this film this week. And I've been getting calls from Colombia, Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, Argentina. Every day my phone is like, "It's hot right now." So many phone calls. When is the movie coming out here? When is the movie coming out? Asia, Europe. I mean, this is a global movement. CNN is not going to stop this. I'm sorry, but CNN is not going to stop this movement. There's no way they're going to stop this movement. It's too late, Steve. It's too late. You know what? They tried, but it's too late. I think he's absolutely right there. They are now trying to do damage control because the film has already done so well, and it's already too late. It's already too late for them. They didn't see this one coming, and it got them, and it got past them, and it is too late. It's too late. It was just the #1 film on Monday. It beat Insidious Red Door. The people are continually going to see this film. More and more people are seeing it. The word of mouth is growing every day, and indeed it is too late for CNN and Mike Rothschild to try and stop this film that is opening up a lot of people to what is going on in the world. Then he says, "They can take me, they can take Tim," referring to Tim Ballard, the character that Jim Caviezel plays based on the real person, Tim Ballard. "They can take Jim, they can take you. They cannot take millions of people that are tired. They already said enough is enough. No, don't mess with the children, and people are angry." 100% on point there. People are angry, and it's time you stop messing with the children in all aspects. And I'm just so glad it's a privilege for me that God used broken instruments like me, like Sound of Freedom director Alejandro Monteverde, like you, and we're being used by him, referring to God there. So later in the interview, I thought this was really interesting. He does say who the film is actually targeting. He says, "This is the globalists. They have a perfect distribution of drugs, human trafficking. These guys, they're powerful people. And that's what they told me from the beginning. Are you sure you want to do this, Eduardo?" And I remember when Tim Ballard said to me, "Eduardo, before you commit to this, I have to be very honest with you. We have a lot of friends. Thank God we have a lot of friends, but we have a lot of enemies, and those enemies will be yours. We share them with you. Are you sure you want to fight this with us?" And then he says, this is how he responded to that. He said, it was a calling, man. When God asks you to do something, you can't say no. You have to go. You have to say yes. And you know what? Regardless of the consequences, it doesn't matter. So yes, we are fighting against this big, big, powerful people, but God is more powerful, and God's children are not for sale. And I know his hand is in this movement. So that is what Eduardo Verástegui had to say to CNN's guest, Mike Rothschild. I think he absolutely destroyed him. He showed who Mike Rothschild exposed himself. He made it very clear where he stood on this issue by making the comments he made. And all Eduardo did is something that we do here at Bounty in the Comics Lot, is basically just shine a light on the comments that these people make. And it really does just kind of show what fruits they're trying to sell you. And they're very poisonous fruits over there from Mike Rothschild at CNN. And I think Eduardo Verástegui had an absolutely excellent answer, excellent response to Mike Rothschild's absolutely disgusting comments at CNN about Jim Caviezel, about the film Sound of Freedom, about the people that are supporting Sound of Freedom, about the people that are going to see the movie Sound of Freedom, and about him and the people that made the film.